What's going on, everybody? My name is Josh Washburn of Washburn Fabco, and today we're going to be doing another review for Art Captain. Today we're going to be looking at the MiG 145 Pro. This is a TIG, Flux, and stick welding 110 welder. This machine's actually been sitting here for a while, along with two other machines that I still need to review, but I've been really busy lately, so sorry for the delay, but I'm going to get them all busted out here this week. Let's pull this machine out the box and see what she looks like. This machine's actually pretty small and lightweight. I like that most of these machines nowadays are getting to be a little bit more compact and don't have to weigh as much. As always, we have our instruction manual, but it looks like now they're adding some stickers. That sticker's actually pretty sweet. I like that one. We got a extra nozzle and some more consumables. We have our whip and stinger. This is pretty typical. You'll see this quality for a machine this price and size. This lead definitely is on the short side. It's only 6 foot, so this machine is going to be best used on the tabletop. It also comes with a strap to carry it around. I've noticed that on some of these smaller budget-friendly machines that we're getting shorter stingers or shorter whips now and carrying straps. This machine actually has a full digital display. I definitely like the digital displays over the regular just analog stuff. This is actually the first time I have seen a carrying like travel cover kind of deal come with one of these budget machines. Even the higher end machines, they're not going to give you a cover. You got to buy a cover separate. But this is pretty nice. It's got a pouch in there so you can throw all of your cables inside, or you could fit your wire in there, whatever. That's a good addition, in my opinion, that this comes with. And then this opens up here on top where you can still reach your carrying handle to move it around. That's pretty sweet. It also comes with a pretty standard stick welding stinger. I'm not going to break this out because I'm not going to stick weld with this today. Comes with one of these brushes that they always come with. And for the ground, we have a pretty standard ground clamp. As I mentioned when I was pulling this out of the box, this is really like super light. Zeroed out. It's fluctuating a little bit. It looks like we're at an average of under 9 pounds. That's probably the lightest machine that I've actually messed with so far. It's actually got a really decent look to it. It kind of looks like they changed the color up a little bit. This doesn't look like the normal Art Captain color. Let's open up our side door and take a look at that. For drive rolls, it comes with a 0.9 and a 0.8. Here in America, we're only going to use a 0.9. Really, that means it's a 035 wire. I don't think we have 0.8 wire. One thing to note when putting your drive roll in, a lot of the time the number on the outside right here it's going to indicate the closest one to it, right? Sometimes, depending on the machine, like I think Lincolns are like this, when you actually put the wire inside, the wire is going to sit on the one that's further away from the numbers. So you're actually getting whatever numbers put on the inside is actually what you're using. But this one here, whatever numbers on the outside is what you're using because it's passing up that first one and running onto that second one. I almost put it in backwards at first. Let's plug her in and see what she does. So it goes all the way up to 145 amps and it goes all the way down to 40 amps. You have a mode button here to select between flux core, stick welding, and TIG welding. I'm assuming these are all the same. Yeah, TIG welding also goes to 145. 145 for stick. Yep, they're all the same. From here, we have our wire size guide there. You can see it's got 030, 035, and 040. We're going to be using 035 that came with the machine today. On function, it shows a material thickness. I'm going to run that at 0.18. We're going to try some 3/16 plate. One thing I'm not seeing here is a separate control for wire feed speed versus our voltage. It doesn't have a voltage readout actually. It looks like it's just the amperage readout. So I'm gonna look in the manual and double check and make sure that I'm just not seeing it correctly, and I'll be right back. If you didn't know already, flux core is gonna run DCEN, which means electrode negative. So your stinger actually is gonna go into the negative side, and your ground's gonna go into the positive side. So we're gonna put the ground in the positive here, and the stinger on the other. Then our remote just goes where the only other spot is to plug something in. This wire came with mine. I'm not sure if this comes with all of them, but this is 035 flux core gasless wire. It is E71 TGS self-shielding flux core 2-pound spool. This machine can only run these smaller 2-pound spools. I always like how they got a really nice seal on their wire. So earlier I couldn't find a set control for the wire feed speed independently, and after talking to one of the representatives from Art Captain, they told me that this is a fully Synergic machine, so there is no settings to change wire feed speed independently. I've never ran a machine like that, so we'll see how it's going to go. I have a couple of defective parts. I sell these parts on eBay, and once in a while the tips start going bad or something runs off of the plate, and I don't want to just throw them away, so I keep them as scrap to do test welds on, like what we're going to do today. I have a whole bunch of DIY parts on my eBay account, which is going to be linked down in the description below. Also, if you want to avoid all the eBay fees and stuff and get a better deal on some parts, just send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, and we could get something worked out from there. I'm going to go ahead and get this base plate cleaned up, and then I'm going to weld on this frame gusset or fish plate, whatever you want to call it. That'll give us a good maybe 10-12 inches of weld. That should be enough for me to figure out this machine. So here's what we got. We got a pretty decent weld appearance. In my opinion, I don't hardly ever run flux core. I'm mainly stick welding or MIG welding most of the time. But this looks pretty good, especially for the price point on this machine. So when I heard this machine didn't have a adjustment for the wire feed speed independently, I was a little on edge about it and didn't know how I would feel about it in general. But it actually seems like their settings are pretty well worked out and they're usable. I usually don't like Synergic machines in general because I like to fine tune my settings a little bit more than they allow you to. But if you're just getting into welding, like absolutely starting from nothing and you want to try something, this MIG 145 Pro is probably a good machine for you. You don't have to worry about your settings for wire feed speed, and in the beginning when you don't know what you're doing, that can be a real pain to start figuring out. You adjust your voltage, the next thing you know, if you don't adjust your wire feed speed correctly, then you're in a loop of it not working and you don't know if you need to go up or down and so on. So I would definitely recommend this as a first time entry level, never touched a wire feed welder before. If you have touched a wire feed welder before, I would go for one of their bigger models that does offer the full setup with the wire feed speed and voltage independent. If you want to purchase this machine, there will be a link down in the description below with my coupon code for a discount. There will also be a link to my Amazon affiliates where I have every machine that I've reviewed so far, if they're available on Amazon, which most of them are, and some other stuff that we use around the shop. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.